What if your dog isn't just dreaming? Not chasing squirrels. Not even running through a field. But what if he's dreaming about you? Yes, you. Your voice. Your scent. A specific moment you shared that you've forgotten, but he hasn't. Scientists have discovered evidence that what happens inside a dog's brain during sleep is far more emotional than anyone imagined. Today you'll understand what really happens in there, and you'll never see your dog sleep the same way again. You've seen it happen. Maybe last night. Maybe 100 times before, and you never thought twice about it. Your dog is curled up in his usual spot, on the couch, at the foot of your bed, on the floor near the door. The house is quiet. His breathing slows. And then, almost without warning, something shifts. A paw twitches. A small sound escapes him, something between a whimper and a muffled bark. His legs begin to move in a soft, rhythmic pattern, like he's running somewhere you can't see. Most people smile and say the same thing: he's chasing a squirrel. It's an easy explanation. A charming one. And maybe part of it is true. But here's where it gets interesting, because what's happening inside your dog's sleeping mind may be far less simple, and far more personal, than a squirrel. Scientists who study animal sleep have found that dogs cycle through the same stages of sleep that humans do, including the stage where dreaming is most likely to occur, REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep. During this phase, the brain becomes almost as active as it is when awake. Neural patterns light up. The body, suppressed by a natural mechanism that prevents full movement, still reacts in small, involuntary ways. The twitching paws. The flickering eyelids. The breath that catches and quickens. These aren't random. They're echoes. And this is the part most people miss, because when researchers studied REM activity in rats, they found something remarkable. The same neural sequences that fired while the rats navigated a maze during the day fired again, in the same order, while the rats slept that night. The brain wasn't resting. It was returning. Retracing every turn, every choice, every moment of that experience. Dogs are not rats. But their brains share the same ancient architecture. The same structures. The same capacity for emotional memory. So when your dog sleeps, what is he returning to? Think about what his day actually contained. Not your version of his day, the list of things that happened. His version. The version filtered through a nose that processes scent at a sensitivity 1,000 times greater than yours. The version filtered through a body that reads the tension in your shoulders before you've said a single word. The version filtered through instincts and emotions he has no language for, but feels with a completeness that most humans have forgotten. His day was not a series of events. It was a continuous stream of sensation, emotion, and connection. The moment you walked through the door and he heard your specific footstep on the stairs before you even reached the handle. The exact smell of your jacket. The pitch of your voice when you called his name, whether it was warm or distracted or tired. The texture of the grass under his paws on the morning walk. The particular quality of the light in the late afternoon when you sat near the window and he came and rested his head on your leg without being asked. None of that disappears when he falls asleep. If this is already making you look at your dog a little differently, stay with Pet Whispers. This channel exists to help you hear what your dog can't say out loud. Because something subtle is happening here, the sleeping brain doesn't sort experiences into important and unimportant. It processes what was felt. And for a dog, feeling and memory are deeply, inseparably linked. Dogs have a limbic system, the emotional brain, that is structurally similar to ours. It governs fear, pleasure, attachment, and the kind of memory that isn't stored as a fact, but as a feeling. Not "I was there, but it felt like this." Not "that happened, but that mattered." Which means that when your dog enters REM sleep, he may not be dreaming in images the way you do. His experience may be closer to a replay of sensation, of scent and movement and emotion woven together into something that feels real to him, because in every way that counts, it was real to him. The moment he saw you from across the park and his whole body changed. The afternoon he followed you from room to room, not asking for anything, just staying close. The night you were upset about something and he pressed himself against your legs without knowing why, only knowing that he should be there. If those moments left emotional traces, and the science suggests they do, then sleep may be the place where his brain returns to them, quietly, in the dark, while the rest of the house is still. And this is where everything changes, because most people look at a dreaming dog and feel tenderness. What they don't feel, what they haven't considered, is what they might mean to that dream. You are not a neutral presence in your dog's life. You are the axis of it. You are the one whose schedule shapes his entire day. Whose moods he reads before you're aware of them yourself. Whose scent tells him whether to be calm or alert, whether you're home or gone, whether the world is safe. You are the sound he orients toward across a crowded park. You are the reason he waits. Dogs form attachments that researchers describe as remarkably similar to the bonds young children form with caregivers. Not metaphorically similar. Structurally similar. The same hormones, the same behavioral patterns, the same need for proximity and the same distress at separation. So if his dreams are built from emotional memory, from the experiences that mattered most, the sensations that felt safe, the presences that meant something, then the question isn't whether you appear in them. The question is whether you've understood how much space you already take up in a world you can barely imagine. He is asleep now. Still. Breathing slowly. And somewhere in the silence of that sleep, something is happening that has no words. Maybe he is running through a field you walked together once, months ago, a day you barely remember. Maybe he is returning to the specific warmth of a morning when you stayed home and he never left your side. Maybe he is reliving the feeling of your hand moving slowly across the top of his head, not the image of it, but the sensation, the safety of it, the message that passed through skin and fur without a single word spoken. You don't know what he dreams. But you may be there. And he won't remember it when he wakes up. He'll just blink his eyes open, find you, and settle back into the world as though everything is exactly where it should be. Because for him, it is. He doesn't need to remember the dream. He has the real thing. If this video made you see your sleeping dog a little differently, hit like, so another dog owner can have this same moment. Subscribe to Pet Whispers and turn on the bell so you never miss a video about what your dog is quietly telling you. And I want to ask you something specific. The next time your dog dreams, what does he do? Does he run, whimper, make small sounds, or just twitch? Tell me in the comments. I read every one.